My name is Leith Semmens, and thank you for taking the time to come and visit our exhibition, The Big Yank. It's the first time we've done an exhibition like this in the region of Yankalilla, so I hope it goes well, and I hope you enjoy yourself, and maybe we'll be able to see you this time next year. This is a photograph of me in my studio, just to give you an idea of my work site. So I'm on my drafting table. This is one of my smaller drawings that I'm working on, and it's about the size of the table itself. So it's about 2 meters by 1.5. So most of the stuff I do is quite large. At the table, I've also got some lights to give uniformity of light, so I can keep the whole thing going. So that's just a really basic introduction of me. This is obviously a really high value, high cost production. Photographs on me on my computer and then me voicing over on my phone. So bear with me on this. I'm just going to close down this Instagram photo. My drawing is based on loosely, and it's also meant to be a joke, of this type of painting by Jacques David Lewis, or English David Lewis. Jack Lewis. It's called Napoleon Crossing the Alps, and it's pure propaganda that Napoleon and Lewis did about his great triumphs. So this painting was completed exactly the same, except for Napoleon usually has a variety of different colour capes. So they come in blue, green, red, gold, and some of them patterned. And the horse is sometimes in different colours, so black and spotted and all sorts. It's propaganda just to fit in with a decor of wherever it goes. The whole meaning of this is also about ego. So it's Napoleon in all his finery, pointing to destiny and blowing in the winds of change and destiny. The horse is obviously power and might, and it's leading him along destiny. You've got some of the soldiers heading over the Alps as well as part of his great victories. You've got Bonaparte in the rock, so he's literally written himself into history, and this part has been cropped. There's a whole series of other names and so forth in the rocks, and you can just make out Hannibal there. So he's trying to compare himself to the great victories of the past. In hindsight, he's probably more like Hitler, but this is Bonaparte in his finest glory, according to himself. So this is basically what my pencil drawing is based on, although I'm trying to turn it into a joke. So we're just going to pan around from my computer. This is my lovely, grubby, messy studio and my drafting table. It's on an angle because I can't lay it flat to give you an exact show of the size or how it feels, but you can see it in the gallery itself. So it's reasonable size. So my drawing, it's pencil, and it uses engineering pencils. So you'll see that it's all parallel lines. The idea is that the engineering drawing pencils are really fine, so less than a half a millimetre, around about 0.1 of a millimetre, and then I've overlaid the pencil marks so it builds up different colours, or not colours, sorry, different tones, so that you get eventually an image out of it. It's quite a laborious process, and I hope you can appreciate just how long this sort of thing takes. So about the picture itself, rather than being Napoleon in all his finery and his great uniform with his furry hat, so it's me in my bike helmet and in my high-vis jacket on my tricycle rather than a big horse. And the idea of that is that I can't drive, so my trusty steed is to have a tricycle that goes with which I use everywhere, and pointing off to destiny. The actual title of this drawing is called Artiste à conquête de la Carrickalinga and de garage. I don't speak French, so I've probably said it all wrong, but it basically means artist concrete his driveway at Carrickalinga. It's meant to be a joke. Our driveway is around about 43 degrees. We had it surveyed and it was literally 43 degrees. So getting this tricycle up and down the driveway is quite an effort. It's around about 60 kilos. So if you can imagine pushing a tricycle or a bike or anything, a wheelbarrow up a really steep hill, it is quite a victory. So it's egotistical, meant to be a joke, but there is it is quite an achievement. So daggy me on my tricycle instead of a horse, carrying on with stuff. And instead of her horse, we've got my dog being carried in the tricycle. Anyone local will know me as the strange sort of man that drives around on a tricycle with a three-legged dog. And so that's my three-legged dog, Bailey. He goes with me everywhere. Instead of being pure, well, it is still pure propaganda, but I've got my advertising on the side so that, ego, advertising, propaganda. The front wheel of the tricycle is flat. So even though this is about victory and triumph and all that sort of stuff, we're not actually going to go anywhere because the tyre is flat. So victory despite not being able to go anywhere, which is, for an average daggy person, is me. I've tried to put in as much detail around the bike as well, so I think you can get an idea of, although it's not a carbon copy of exactly what goes on, it's a bit of detail. And also you can see that there is some detail up here. And in the background, you've got Carrickalinga viewed from our driveway. You can see the sea, and we've got lots of trees in front of our place, so you can't see the houses. You can see the trees and then the ocean. So this is my drawing. I hope it helps put a little bit of context into what it's about and what I'm trying to say in this. It's a joke. It's meant to be taking the piss. So I don't mind if you don't see it as serious, because it's really not meant to be. So me conquering my driveway in all my daggy finery on my fine tricycle with my dog instead of a horse, and advertising. So my take on a Napoleon, and we'll catch you later. Bye.